another chain. You know I got vices. Southside with my queen, whip clean, spread my wings. But they ain't gon' like it. When Tide signed with the Vikings, the price on the bundle was spiking. Covered and strapped, I'm guy.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Back at you with another video on today. This is Raw Podcast. Make sure you guys hit that subscription button, subscribe to the channel, click the bell, and hit the word all so that you may be able to receive every notification that comes from the channel. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to talk about Shedeur Sanders. And we're going to talk about possibly if the Cleveland Browns were to cut Shedeur Sanders, because he is the number 4 quarterback on the depth chart, and a team normally keeps around 3 quarterbacks. Sometimes they'll send the 3rd quarterback to the practice squad or whatever it may be. But man, the Cleveland Browns are creating a beautiful mess with the quarterback position. You got 6 quarterbacks over there. Not even talking about Deshaun, who's coming back from an Achilles injury or whatever. But you have Joe Flacco, you got Shedeur Sanders, you got Kenny Pickett, you got Gabriel, and then you also got Tyler Huntley, who they just signed as well. So you got 6 quarterbacks over here. And to me, I'm going to pose this scenario for the Cleveland Browns to do. Things haven't worked out in Indy as well with Anthony Richardson. Yeah, why not send over Shedeur Sanders to the Indianapolis Colts? I think that it would be a good team for Shedeur to get traded to. They already got a couple weapons over there. You know what I'm saying? Alex Pierce and A.D. Mitchell they got over there. And then you also got Michael Pittman. I think that would be a great landing spot for Shedeur Sanders to go to the Indianapolis Colts if he's not really being valued with the Cleveland Browns. You know, I was trying to think in my mind, like, what team could Shedeur go to, you know, if they decide to part ways with them, because they could decide to part ways with them. You know, normally a team only keeps 3 guys on a roster, and normally the 3rd guy, you know, he'll go to the practice squad, or sometimes he may still be holding the clipboard, hanging around a team still, so in uniform. So it just depends on, you know, what Cleveland is wanting to do. But, you know what I'm saying, Shedeur Sanders definitely has played well when he was out there. Looks like he's not going to play in Saturday's game or this weekend's game versus the Philly Eagles. So with that being said, you know, if you really don't value this kid and your owner really didn't want to draft a guy like Shedeur Sanders, why not send him to the Indianapolis Colts and grab Anthony Richardson? Because I don't really think that it's really panning out well for Anthony Richardson with the Colts. And maybe he might need a change of an environment. The same thing that I think with Shedeur Sanders, you know, them drafting him, they probably, like the owner said, Shedeur wasn't on the radar for him. And you can't deny that Shedeur, you know what I'm saying, is a good football player, no matter how you try to deny it and you try to go elsewhere with the quarterback position. The dude can flat out play. And we saw that, the whole world saw it, that Shedeur Sanders can play. You know what I'm saying? And he has that legacy DNA flowing through his bloods. So, you know what I'm saying? The biggest thing is I just think that, you know, I think it'll be a great scenario for the Colts probably to depart with Anthony Richardson, because it has not really been working. Anthony Richardson has been banged up a lot. You know what I mean? And he just hasn't really worked out like how you initially would have thought that he would have worked out with the Colts. And maybe a change of environment for Anthony Richardson would be good as well. Sending him over to Cleveland and sending Shedeur Sanders over to the Indianapolis Colts. I think it'll be a great landing spot for Shedeur Sanders, because you also got a good running back in Jonathan Taylor. So he would already have an offense over there. He would just have to go over there and learn the playbook, which you would have to, you know, you will have to learn the playbook pretty fast. And I'm pretty sure they would simplify it for him until he picks it up. But I think that it would be a great landing spot. You know, what do you guys think? Do you think Shedeur Sanders will be a good quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts? I definitely do. I think that that's a team that he can land with, and a team that he can be the quarterback for a long time with that team. You know, so we're going to see, man, what the Browns are really going to do with Shedeur Sanders. You know, are they going to let Shedeur walk? Or, you know, saying he's going to slide up the depth chart? What is going to happen? because they are creating a beautiful mess with the quarterback situation in Cleveland. Just way too many quarterbacks over there, man. And somebody's going to get cut. And if Shedeur Sanders is the one that's going to get cut, why not trade him over to the Indianapolis Colts and they grab Anthony Richardson? I know the deal is not an even deal because Anthony Richardson was a first-round pick and he's making a lot of money, but so what? At this point, man, you just, they throw around money anyway, so it don't really matter to a millionaire or to a billionaire owner, I should say. It doesn't matter to these guys. Why not send Shedeur Sanders to the Indianapolis Colts and they take Anthony Richardson and they go from there? Because, man, it's just way too much going on in Cleveland right now. And if you're not going to respect the body of work or what Shedeur Sanders has been doing, even in training camp and even at playing his first preseason game, if you're not going to respect that, then what are you going to respect? So to me, why not send him to the Colts? I think it's a great scenario for both teams. It gives the Colts to me, it would give the Colts a franchise quarterback. And it would give Anthony Richardson a new opportunity because, to me, apparently it's just not working out with them. Even though Anthony Richardson has all the talent in the world, what team do you see or scenarios do you see playing out for Shedeur Sanders? If this thing is not going to work out with the Cleveland Browns, where can Shedeur Sanders land? To me, I think the Indy would be a great spot for Shedeur Sanders. I think that he's the type of quarterback that they need. And I think that he could be a franchise quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. This is what I'm posing. So I want to get you guys' thoughts and comments on it. What do you think about a swap with Anthony Richardson and Shedeur Sanders being sent over to the Indianapolis Colts and Richardson coming over and getting a new life with the Cleveland Browns? But because it hasn't really panned out with Richardson with the Colts, and I know the injuries have kind of played a toll a little bit in Anthony Richardson's career, but still he's a young fella, and I definitely think that, man, this is not a bad idea, being able to swap quarterbacks. Anthony Richardson gets a new scenery, and Shedeur Sanders finally lands a home. If the Cleveland Browns are not going to use Shedeur Sanders or want Shedeur Sanders to be their franchise quarterback, then why not trade him and give him an opportunity to go to another team that he can possibly be their quarterback in Indy? So I think that it's a good scenario, man. Shedeur Sanders going to the Colts. I think that the offense is already set up for him to be successful if that trade was to go through. But we'll see what Cleveland Browns are going to do. But I'm just posing this. All right, peace.